Welcome to the San Clemente Podcast, the only local podcast in the best beach town in the world. We're here to bring you weekly episodes highlighting everything from sports, culture, entertainment, politics, and everything else this beach town has to offer. Welcome back to the San Clemente Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Moore, joined as always by Brian De La Puente. We've got a great guest on for you today. We're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk San Clemente, a true San Clemente local, a native, someone that was born around the corner, grew up right here in our town, in our city, in San Clemente. Nick Hartman, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Of course. One of my very good buddies. Stoked to have you on.
Thank you.
And we don't need to necessarily just talk real estate, a little bit of culture, a little bit of the market, a little bit about your background and what you love to do here in San Clemente. So just kick us off. Is now a good time to buy in San Clemente and or the surrounding cities?
I would say yes. I am currently involved in or just closed on a property here in San Clemente myself. So obviously I'm encouraging others to do the same. I think the best time to buy was a couple years ago. Next best time is right now.
Right.
You know?
And rates were super low
Rates were super low a couple years ago, obviously, but the demand really hasn't stopped for San Clemente, and I kind of finally realized I needed to get off the sidelines myself and do what I was encouraging all my clients to do,
Right.
which was get your foot in the door on something, while you still can, or as soon as possible, even if it's not like the perfect end all be all property, something that you can use as a stepping stone into your next property. Just get your foot in the door.
We get a lot of comments about how expensive it is in San Clemente and how hard it is to buy real estate and how they can't do it. You are proof in the pudding that you can buy real estate. You don't need 20% down. You don't need 30% down. There are creative ways to purchase real estate. And in your scenario, just speak on that a little bit.
Well, that's a big thing that I always encourage, and I know you encourage too, Jeff, is to try to be creative as possible, because there's ways to get stuff done even without a proper down payment. I was able to purchase a property recently with actually just putting it was really a wild situation, but I was able to put 3% down on a property for my deposit and get a commercial lender to loan about 50% loan to value, and then I was able to get a client a private money loan for the other 50% of the loan to value, and then apply my 3% deposit to my closing costs and actually receive money back. So really, I was able to purchase a property with just
Yeah.
my paying for my closing
You're
costs.
3% of,
Wow.
we don't need to talk about the sale price, but again, it goes to show if you want to make something happen bad enough and you want to buy real estate in or around town, it is possible. Just find a way to make it happen.
How do you
You just got to get creative.
but how do you get to that when there's cash competing with offers and stuff? Is it not to market? Is that why it's important to have a realtor or
Yes.
someone that knows kind of what's happening in the market?
For sure. And that's a really good point to bring up. This property was unique because I did find out about it before it came on the market. It ended up being a situation where there were multiple offers on it because it was such a desirable property. And I think that I was able to kind of secure it because of the relationship that I had with the seller and some other factors that were involved too.
Right.
They felt like I was the one that would get to the goal line on it and actually close it. So it's very important, I think, to work with a local realtor when you are buying, because a lot of the local realtors here that are constantly doing business, we find out about things off market, whether it's through people we've known in the community for a long time or other realtors that are doing business. We share listings with each other, and we seem to be able to, we come across a pretty good amount of stuff off market.
Right.
One of the properties I closed last year, actually, it was the highest price close sale in San Clemente ever outside of a gated community, and we found it off market for our client, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. I feel like you have to do that. Right. And that really comes down to who you're working with and the relationships you've cultivated over a lifetime of growing up here. Right.
For sure.
So, yeah. Well, let's go to that. Let's talk about early Nick in town and growing up here and all that good stuff, just kind of how you got,
Cool.
came up.
I was born in Laguna Beach. My mom lived in Laguna at the time. And well, my mom, take a step back a little bit. My mom's from England. My dad grew up in Redondo Beach and LA County. They met in Corona Del Mar, had me when she was living in Laguna, moved to San Clemente right away, and they bought a home in the Riviera district in the early 80s. So I was raised in Southwest San Clemente in the Riviera district when San Clemente was like a lot more blue collar than what it is right now, and when Riviera was like very, very blue collar. Um, it's changed a lot. It's maintained its identity in a lot of ways, which is cool, but it's definitely changed a lot. I grew up at 208 Avenue de la Riviera, which I still remember to this day. And there was 3 vacant lots next to us at the time, which is crazy because we could play mud football.
For sure.
We could go down into the canyon, like the Rivi Canyon, and kind of like skirt around the community and spend the whole day in the canyon. You know, my brother and I and my sister. It was just a great time. So we grew up definitely a good time in San Clemente. Remember a lot of the older guys down at the beach, like the O'Connells and like some of those guys that like when I was a little kid, I was looking up to these guys, just like a little bit intimidated, but it was pretty cool. Riviera was always known as like a good surf break and kind of a local beach. You know, it was a little bit off the beaten track, so kind of had that cool vibe to it. Went to like Orange Coast Christian School when I was a little kid. That's not around anymore, but it's over by Pedro's, by that St. Michael's Academy, I think is what it's called now. Went to Dana Point Christian School, went to Shore Cliffs, went to San Clemente High School, graduated in '99 from San Clemente.
Sweet.
Lots of good memories from there. Of course, like being able to have surf class, like 0 period, 2nd period surfing was pretty amazing. So Wednesdays and Fridays, surf till 10:30.
Were you guys down at T Street?
We would check in at the pier, either surf the pier or we could run down to T Street. A lot of times I'd surf clock towers, south side of the pier when it was breaking, or run.
It's
to
Jeff's
T Street.
spot now. Jeff's a pier guy now. I had to loop that in there.
I
love the pier.
I like it. Yeah, Jeff and I have known each other for a long time, since we were kids. Jeff's father and my mother actually used to do business together. Jeff's father was an amazing lender here in town, very well known. And my mom was in real estate, and she was a well-known realtor here. So I've known the Moore family since I was a kid, and you know, they're very established here in the community. So pretty cool to see things kind of come full circle like this, and to be able to like reconnect with Jeff in our adult life and work together now. Now Jeff will help me out with loans and
and real estate and loans. I mean, it's something that I think we're all passionate about.
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand, and it's a great way for people to accumulate wealth and to provide a place for their family to live. But you hit on something that I think is very important about Riviera being a blue collar community. Fast forward to today, now having an office on Del Mar, how much has changed?
A lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same too, if that makes sense. Downtown San Clemente has changed a lot. We never had these kind of like dining options and like cool stuff to do at night when I was a kid, at least. I remember when like Beach Fire opened for the first time, and that was like the first place on Del Mar that had live music and stuff, and it was like, oh my god, like we can go to Beach Fire. And
for sure,
then now we have other places like Nick's, Rare Society, some of these really cool places like the Cellar's awesome, Bar Jane. They just put it in Zoves, and
dude, the Cellar's a vibe.
I love the Cellar.
The Cellar's awesome.
With the piano going.
Oh yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, and they got this blues guy on the weekend, dude. He's pretty classic. But the Cellar is, I think, one of, if not my favorite spot on Del Mar. So that's changed a lot. The downtown's really changed. The town has gotten more crowded overall for sure, but it still seems like it's maintained that small town vibe. Like it's not. It feels like a town, not like a city, where a lot of people know each other. A lot of people that grew up here still live here, and there's a lot of new people that have come here, but most of them, they want to like maintain that small town vibe.
For sure.
So people are really friendly. People say hi, smile. Like you go to a lot of places and they don't do that, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
But people like the community feel here. It's a real active lifestyle in San Clemente. You know, people are surfing, they're out riding bikes, they're on the beach trail, you know, they're up at Salty Turf now,
Yep.
and they're at all these like there's a lot more to do here in town now, which is pretty amazing. Lots of cool communities. You know, Riviera is still very, very cool. Love
Yeah.
the Riviera district. My mom still has a house in Riviera. Um, a lot of other cool communities as well. Trestles district
Yeah.
is very, very cool. I purchased in the Trestles district last year. It is a great community, and part of what I like about that community is it feels like old school San
For
Clemente.
sure.
It has a very, very like blue collar vibe to it, and a lot of people, you know, that maybe got priced out of Southwest San Clemente are over in Southeast San
Sure.
Clemente now in like the Trestles community and stuff. And you can ride bikes down to Trestles really easily. You know, you can still golf cart into town.
Yeah.
You can go to the Muni really easily. So yeah, that's one of my favorite neighborhoods in
We
town
spent a
now.
lot of time growing up, going to Concordia. We had a lot of buddies that grew up over there.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, we would take, when it would rain hard, we go over to the par 5 right there and we'd skim down skim across the fairways. And it was the
So
super
cool.
fun. I think it was on Dominguez down there.
Yeah.
And there was a handful of kids, and it was just like that nostalgic old school. I'm glad that it's still got that
It does.
that vibe down there.
It really does. It's very cool. I mean, it's changed a lot too. It's
Right.
like it's definitely been gentrified compared to how
Sure.
it was when I was a little kid,
Right.
but it's got the same vibe in a lot of ways. You know, you have like the Powell's house is almost right across the street from where I bought down in Trestles, and then like Logan Powell lives right around the corner from there with his kids, and Clancy lives there, and Jeff lives right down the street, and the Yoders live right over the fence, and the Kirks, and
Yeah.
like the Cars are right around the corner. Like there's so many local San Clemente families in that
Yeah.
neighborhood. It's very cool.
God, I got a pal story. So I was on Logan's baseball team,
Okay.
and after school, my mom was like, "Hey, go with Logan and then walk up to Bahia to have practice."
Yeah.
So we go over to Logan's house, and his brothers were both there, and I didn't really know them, but Shane and Ian.
Yep.
Logan goes in to get a snack, and one, I don't remember which one. I saw Shane down a t-shirt yesterday, but they hung Logan off the balcony. I remember going home, be like, "Mom, I'm never going over to the Pal's house again. Those guys are freaking crazy."
They're wild, dude.
And I'd like, but now to see them with kids and it's full circle and it's like, it's just rad. Like
such good people and a good solid family.
Yeah.
I
So
really
fun.
like
I
that.
like that they're all, I know Logan's back and doing the water polo thing and really has created giving back with his knowledge and his UCLA and all of his success and giving back to the community is what's rad.
Yeah. I love seeing Shane around. Love
Yeah.
seeing Logan. I think Ian's in Costa Rica right now, living down there. But all great people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
So did you get into real estate right out the gate, or was there?
No, I ended up in my like mid 20s or so. I got into the surf industry. I did that, kind of started like doing sales for them, and then got a job as their marketing director. Did that till around the time I turned 30, and I got my
Okay.
license like right around the time I turned 30. I just kind of, I think that I like saw the ceiling with what I was doing at the time, and there was like a couple other various things that happened, like a breakup and this health thing
Sure.
and stuff, and you know, like just time for a change. So got my real estate license. It was a little bit slow going at first. You know, I had to really go all in on it before I kind of found that success. And, you know, this is a tough industry. It's like, it's very, very competitive. And if you're not doing it full time and like really giving it your all, you're not going to stand out from the crowd. It's just the way that it is. There's some people that get lucky, you know, and will do stuff right out the gate. But most people, even the top realtors in town that I know, it took a lot of them a little bit to get going, you know, to where some of them have even told me like, "Hey, I was like ready to give up," you know? And then I got that first one and it turned into the next one and whatever. Like, took me a minute. I remember my first listing I got was like, it was inside the Riviera district. So cool. It was like 1.7. And then I ended up double ending that one. There was a family that came down. They're from LA and they came down to bring their daughter to meet a friend. And they saw my sign. They called me and they said, if you can be here in 5 minutes, we'll buy this house. I got there in 5 minutes and they bought that house. It was wild. Killer. And then I ended up, I think my first 3 sales were in, or 3 of my first 5 for sure were in the Riviera district, and probably done like 10 or so transactions in Riviera, which is pretty amazing. But it's like, it just kind of goes, you know, you get your first and then like people see that and then you get another one, and you know, and it's kind of stepping stones. Like,
you also work your tail off though. You're working 7 days a week.
I have been. Yes. Yep. You got to do it. You got to work hard if you want to be successful, you know,
especially in that industry. You got to be available. Like you said, 5 minutes.
You got to be available
because people are like, I want an answer now.
Yep. One of the top agents in Orange County, who also works for Sotheby's, we were at a meeting a few months ago. He's a big time agent, and we were talking about like things to do to be successful. And he said a couple things that he recommended doing. And I said, you know, one of my biggest things is just being available and answering your phone, because people don't want to answer the phone now. People want to text, they want to do this, that. And when I said that, he was like, that's exactly it. He's like, I tell everyone, answer your phone. Even when you don't want to, just answer. You don't know who it's going to be. So being responsive is huge. Last year, the biggest listing that I've ever gotten was a $12.5 million listing over the Dana Point Harbor, like directly over Baby Beach. Okay. And that came from, of all things, an inquiry on my website.
No way.
They emailed me, and I was in an open house and I saw the home evaluation request come through, got right back to him within 5 minutes, and then ended up, you know, I had to interview for it quite a few times, but ended up getting the listing, ended up selling it for like a little over 12 million. And that's my biggest closed sale.
That's killer. When you get those kind of properties, what type of preparation goes into listing it? Like,
well, you know, first of all, of course, you have to get the client comfortable with you and what you bring to the table and what you can offer. And then, you know, you try to advise them to the best of your ability on what they can do, or what you can do together to prepare it for the market. And in this case, it needed to be painted. It needed to have a lot of little stuff done to it. They didn't want to paint it, but it was like this Tuscan yellow color. And I'm like, let's just paint it like, you know, off-white, make it look more Spanish style. And they had a bunch of furniture in the house. I was like, you need to get moved out first so we could stage this properly and make it look nice. We ended up, you know, I helped out with the staging. The house looked amazing when we were finished with it. And we sold it in less than a month for way more than anyone ever thought we would get.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And also it's a combination of like preparing a house properly, getting like high-end photos. You know, we work with really, really good photographers. I've kind of learned like which ones to use and who not to use, and, you know, putting a lot into my marketing budget, like making videos, advertising, doing posts and advertising on social media, trying to do like a multi-pronged approach, you know, not just like putting it in the MLS and just thinking that people are going to come to you, you know, because maybe they will, but maybe they won't, you know.
And since you're speaking about the listing and selling of properties like that, what's a common mistake that sellers will make?
Overpricing. Not understanding that you need to make it so that people can see themselves living there. They keep it like too much of their home because it's stuff that they like, but it doesn't mean that the other person's going to like it, you know? And you need to, a lot of times people don't want to declutter and do all that stuff because they're comfortable living in the home the way it is, so it feels right to them. But it's not always about like how it feels to live in the home. It needs to look good, you know?
And so people can put their own spin on it. Like, hey, our couch would look good over here or whatever.
Exactly. Like this is an obvious one, but it's like take down all your personal pictures and stuff. Like people like want to like picture their family there. So get all of that stuff taken care of, declutter, declutter, declutter. And even when you think it's decluttered, declutter some more.
Right.
It's just like that, those things really, really will benefit you at the end of the day. And, if you really want to sell the home, you've got to price it appropriately. If it doesn't comp out with all the other homes in the neighborhood and stuff, unless it's something like very, very special, you're doing yourself a disservice because the longer it sits on the market, the worse it looks to people.
Right. What's wrong?
Yeah. What's wrong with this place? How come it's been on the market for 3 months?
Right.
Maybe it's because you
I think
started.
I think there's a lot, like we talked about earlier, like a lot of people in town, this is their retirement. So they're like, hey, I need to get X.
For sure.
And it's like, I don't want to sell it if I can't get X.
And I understand that too,
Right.
because this is the biggest transaction that people will do in their lives. It's often their biggest asset. So people get very emotional, and it's a tense situation, especially if it is their retirement.
Sure. Yeah, you got to navigate a lot of emotions and logistics, and you sell this house to buy another house, where you going, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a very complex, it's not just a like business decision, right? There's emotion involved. Well, this is where my kids were raised, right?
Exactly.
So you have to, are there any like tips or tricks managing those kind of emotions? Like
focus on the goal. Like I have one that we listed today in Talega that they are moving down to the Trestles district, and we got beautiful photos done. The house looks great. Put it online, and the wife saw it today, and she's like very emotional because she's like, "This is where I raised my kids."
Is it like cold feet emotion?
It wasn't even cold feet emotion. It was just emotion, like this is real now. We're actually doing this, and in cases like that, I just try to get them to focus on the goal, which is like, hey, you're in love with this other house. I know this is going to be an emotional time right now, but this is what you want. We're focused, and we're going to make this happen for you,
Masterfully said. You said something earlier about San Clemente changing. A lot has changed and a lot has not changed too.
Yeah.
I think that really hits home. And I think a lot of people moving from out of area to San Clemente also want to be involved in the community and build relationships with people. And we've experienced that with some of the people you've sold houses to.
Most definitely.
And that creates that culture and that vibe. And I think we are going to, look 10 years from now, look back and say, you know what, it has changed, it has evolved, things do. But at the end of the day, San Clemente is San Clemente.
Do you get protective at all? Like I noticed a lot this year that there was out of state people moving into town.
I've seen that for a while, even like since COVID and stuff, with a lot of people coming down from San Francisco.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming down from LA, even more now. You see the LA people. I feel like San Francisco's come back a little bit, but for a little bit there, it was pretty rough. And we're getting a lot of people from San Francisco. We get a lot of people from Utah, a lot of people from Arizona, people from the East Coast, that are all coming out here.
Yeah.
So,
do you get protective?
No, not so much.
No.
Maybe I have my moments once in a while, but at the same time, like you can't gatekeep everything.
Right.
But how cool for you to see it through the lens of people moving from different parts of the country and different parts of the state, where you get to see it how they see San Clemente or Dana Point or one of the other towns for the first time.
It's wild. And that makes me think of another point that, people wonder, like, is it overpriced? Is it this or is it that? Well, it's all kind of relative to where you're coming from and like the way that you look at it. Because to somebody that's moving down from San Francisco or something, they're looking at San Clemente like, oh my God, this place is a deal.
Right.
To someone that's been in San Clemente their whole life, they look at the prices and they're like, wow, these prices have gone wild, But I still am a firm believer in the fact that like there's a lot of room for growth here still too. And just based on like a simple like supply and demand lens, the demand here is extremely strong.
Right.
And I've had people for years saying, oh, well, when the prices drop, I'm going to just buy up a lot of stuff. Well, dude, you and everybody else,
right?
Like the demand is strong here, and I just don't see it slowing down right now. Granted, I don't have a crystal ball. You don't have a crystal ball. Jeff doesn't have a crystal ball. But,
Yeah.
you know,
It's probably going to continue to remain strong.
yeah.
And you haven't
Look around.
Yeah. And
If
you
I-
haven't seen any supply is still there.
Supply.
You talk about the demand, so people want to move, want to buy.
Yeah, supply like is down,
Yeah.
like from where it was, you know, like let's just say, let's go back to pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, there was always, it seemed like for a while, there was around like 300 plus homes on the market here in San Clemente consistently. Now there's like half that, 150. I remember like in the heat of COVID when interest rates were low and people were just like, you know, frothing, dude. Like it got to where there was less than 100 homes on the market here. Now, while it's increased, it's still, like I said, like half of what it was pre-COVID. So it's pretty low supply and the demand's strong, but the demand is very, very strong for the right stuff.
Right.
And the right stuff is like those certain enclaves, Southwest, you know, parts of Southeast, like Trestles, the entry level, which as crazy as it is, it's like, you know, the
2 million
1.5 to
bucks.
2
Yeah.
million range is the entry level here now. The entry level stuff is super hot and the high end is super hot. There's stuff in that mid range that's sitting a little bit if you're not priced well or you're not in the right spot.
Kind
Those
of
are
reaching.
yeah, kind of reaching, you know,
Yeah.
those homes are sitting a little bit, but
Yeah.
there is like a very, very strong demand for high end stuff and for that entry level.
What do you think it was about COVID that made it go like we use COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID for a lot of different things. In real estate in particular, what do you think was the main thing that made that just jump?
I think that when you came here during COVID, like San Clemente was still, a lot of people were still doing their thing here in San Clemente.
Right.
You know, they weren't all hiding. Like this is a good, like active lifestyle town. So people were coming here and they're like, wow, I like this place a lot. And people were getting more like free time to explore a little bit. They didn't have to work from offices. They could work from home. So they were kind of like going more to like communities that they really
Sure.
liked.
Like we don't have to live next to LA.
Yeah.
Look at Marissa and Justin. Perfect example. COVID
Yeah.
is like the best thing that's ever happened to them personally.
And then the interest rates, you know, the
Yeah.
interest rates went down to like less than 3% and stuff. People like, you look at that right now,
Ugh.
like, oh my God, what I wouldn't do for
A 1.875 interest rate. Or to go back and be like, why didn't we buy more?
right?
1.875. It's free money.
Like my payments would be a third what they are right now.
Yeah.
It's just insane, dude. It is insane.
It's wild.
In 5 years, 5 or 6 year
5 years.
period.
What do you think is going to happen for everyone that's got that locked in?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No one's moving, or they're not going to be able to afford to sell or whatever. So like,
Most of them don't want to, but it's like there's always going to be death, divorce, job change, that kind of stuff. So those people, you got to do what you got to do.
Steal.
And then you also have like, you know, as far as the buyers, there were buyers that when the rates went up to like 7%, they were on the sidelines and they were like,
Can't do it.
yeah, they didn't, you know, because they all of a sudden calculated their payments and it's, you know,
Yeah.
twice what it was going to be before or more.
Right. Yeah.
Those people have been waiting on the sidelines for a little while and they're sick of waiting.
Right.
So they are getting back into the market, even though it's at a higher interest rate, and they are banking more on refining down the line.
And at the end of the day, the rate is not that important. You date the rate, you marry the home, right?
Yeah.
You can always refinance and you will refinance. And statistics always show that you can. If you find the home and you like it and you can afford it, buy it.
Yeah.
If it's where you want to raise your family and you want to live in this beautiful area, just buy it. You will not regret it when you look back in 5 to 10 years. Period. You never will.
Yeah. What growing your business? What do you think was the most like important in getting to that over that hump? Like, was it the back end things? I mean, like we're dealing with it here, right? Like trying to figure out the back end of kind of the boring, like stupid stuff. But as you grow, that you need systems in place. Like, what were some of the important systems that you put in place or tools you use to really take it to the next level?
You know, I still feel like I'm trying to like dial in my back end stuff. But just staying focused, dedicated, and following up with people. Like before, I would do open houses on the weekend, and maybe I'd take like Monday off because I worked all weekend. But now I don't do that. I go in and I grind on Mondays. You got to put your time in, dude.
Right.
That's the biggest thing that I feel like. I think that if you work hard, you will be successful at some point. Maybe it'll take a little while longer, but I think that's a big part of it. Also, you kind of learn like where you're putting your money that you're getting the most like return on your investment.
Right.
As far as like marketing dollars and stuff like that. There were certain publications that maybe I would advertise in, and I didn't really see anything back from them, so I don't advertise in those anymore.
How do you like track those kind of things?
That's a hard thing to quantify,
Right.
but I just do it. A lot of it is just based on feedback.
Right.
Like certain places where I've advertised, like people come up to me all the time now and they're like, oh, I saw your this, I saw that, I saw that. Other things I never got a comment on.
Right.
And it just showed. I'm like, okay. And also I was doing too many different things, like just throwing stuff at the wall. Now it's more streamlined. Like
Right.
there's the ones that I feel like I've had success from, and I'm just sticking with them.
Yeah. Does social media come into any of that? Like, I mean, we talk about it a lot and how the power that social media can have. Are you incorporating that into listings and stuff?
Yes, but I don't I don't get a ton of clients off of my social media, but I know that people are seeing it. I know that
Right.
they're getting eyes on the listings and stuff. I've met a few clients through social media, like people I had no history with that reached out through social media, but I don't do a ton of volume through social media. But I really feel like it's important to take advantage of social media, take advantage of print,
Right.
take advantage of all these different things for sure. Try to incorporate it all.
Yeah.
What advice would you have to a new agent coming into the business?
Be prepared to suffer.
I mean, hey, what advice do you really have? I mean, but that's the truth.
Just work hard,
and be prepared to not make any money for 12 months probably. And maybe you get lucky. Is that what you're saying?
It's that right, like Venn diagram of like hard work, luck, and skill or whatever, there's that happy place in the middle where you've got to do all those things.
Right.
And I think that you got to tell people they got to have thick skin, and I would tell them to figure out what works for you and do it. If you're not comfortable making cold calls, but you love to do open houses, then pick up as many open houses as you can and go grind them, dude.
Yeah.
Or if you like to door knock, go door knock. Like people have things that work for them, and then they try to force themselves to do other stuff that they see maybe working for other agents, but stick with what you're good at.
That's great advice.
It's excellent.
Just grind and do what you're good at.
Yep.
A lot of people don't have that grind in them, and that's why real estate's just not for them.
Sometimes you have to be able to like find additional like motivation with certain things, and everyone's different. Sometimes like you got to have a little chip on your shoulder. You got to be a little bit crazy. If you're going to have a successful business, you got to find motivation in different ways. Like if someone like slights you, use it as motivation.
Right.
Not
getting pissed off and go in a corner.
Totally.
It's a game. Use it as a game.
Use it, dude. Use it as fuel. Just fuel the fire, bro.
Right.
Like if a transaction falls apart and like instead of crying about it, like use it.
San Clemente is very unique though, in the sense of it's very competitive, and there's a lot of agents all competing for a very small pocket of business.
For sure. Like everyone here knows 20 realtors, dude.
Right.
Like, everybody has a family member that's a realtor, a cousin, a brother, sister, whatever, like we all get it. And there's probably thousands of realtors in San Clemente. But if I asked you to name like the top realtors, it's a very short list.
Very short list. There's probably 5 that are doing 98% of the business.
Yes, there's like 5 to 10 realtors here in town that do, like just said, 98% of the business.
And that's who you want to work with.
And do you guys all like, are you guys kosher with each other? Like, what's that relationship like with those top guys?
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
That's why we need to have booze on the podcast
Yeah.
from time to time.
No, so like,
take a shot, Nikki, and tell us how you really feel.
oh, I will. I think that most of us have a really good working relationship,
Right.
and you've got to be professional. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say we all get along, because we don't. You know,
Right.
there's a couple of people that rub each other wrong for whatever reason, you know,
Right.
but most people play pretty good in the sandbox
Sure.
together, and that's what you want, because we're trying to get deals done for our clients.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like a egocentric agent and you're more worried about, you know, posting pictures of you surfing in your ads or doing this or that, you know, instead of like it's not about you, it's about the clients. And the sooner you realize that, the more business you'll do,
Right.
because you form relationships with other people, and then, you know, they'll pick up the phone and call you like, "Hey Nick, I've got this coming up. Like, you got a buyer for it? You know, let's do this."
Right.
You know, and vice versa. Like, you know, I put out the olive branch to people too, you know, like,
Sure.
"Hey, happy to get you in.
We got to do this together, and it's for the client.
It's for the client."
Right.
What do you have to say about people that always talk, not always, but there's a certain pocket of people that think realtors make too much money, or we don't need a realtor. We'll just go online and do it ourselves.
I had one of those people call me yesterday, someone that's got their home for sale by owner right now. And they called me asking me what I could do to help them get it sold. And I said, "Hey, if you want to list it with me, this is what I do. You know, I put a lot into marketing. I can get your home sold, but you guys are going about this all wrong. You need to put like a distance between you and the buyer.
Right.
You know, you need a representative, just like everyone does, you know, no matter the business. Like, how much better does it sound like you talking up Jeff than Jeff talking up himself?
For sure.
You know, it's the same thing with selling a house. If you're sitting there like, "Oh, my house is the best because of this and that," like, no, dude, you want like and third party doing it.
Right.
And that's why real estate will never go away, because you have to have that.
You have to have that.
You just have to have it.
And also, like, as far as like making too much, like, dude, I have gone a year without a paycheck.
Right.
Like, it's not fun.
No.
And
Stressful.
It's stressful. And when you're doing well, yes, you are making good money. But to your point earlier, like, I've been working 7 days a week,
Yeah.
you
Great.
know?
And sometimes the
Right.
deals that you close, you may have been working on for 12 months.
Very true. I haven't had one that's been quite that long, but I just closed one that was like a 8-month escrow, you know, just setback after setback. And like, you know, people don't see that. People don't see like the behind the scenes of how long it like went, like trying to,
Or showing a buyer, or whatever the situation may be.
you can show buyers 30 properties, and then they turn around and, you know, if you don't have an agreement signed, they turn around and buy it from someone else at an open house. Like, it's painful, dude.
It's freaking hard. Like, I wouldn't want my kids getting into the business. It's a hard business. Like, we are lucky we've been doing it for a long time.
It's a
We've been-
certain type of person, dude.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
Commission, you are commission only. It is very, very hard.
Definitely. And you get out what you put into it. I mean, you're a people person, Jeff. You know, like, you've got to put yourself out there.
Right.
Like, closed mouths don't get fed. You got to get out there, do your thing.
Yep. Make good relationships, treat people really good.
That's a good thing, good point to make too. Like, you want to do right by your clients. You want to treat people like how you would want to be treated,
Right.
because then they'll come back to you,
Yeah.
you know?
Spend your money's client as if it were your own.
Mhm.
And it's not rocket science.
It's not. Just do right by people. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
You know, don't just be kind to people. Like, a smile's going to get you farther than a frown.
Sure.
Yep.
You know?
Do you see any neighborhoods hotter than others? Like what, like in town, trending upwards, trending downwards? Like,
Well, like we've already touched on it, but Trestles is trending upward for sure. I think maybe 4 years ago, I sold the last house there that closed for under $1 million. Now things are closing, like the same size home right now would be like at least 1.5. I have one on the south end of Trestles right now that's been rebuilt. It's under contract at 1.8. Like, those prices were unheard of years
Okay.
ago.
for sure.
What about, yeah, go ahead.
Southwest is always going to be popular. The Riviera district is insanely popular. Lost Winds is insanely popular. T Street, is really like come into its own. There's gorgeous, gorgeous homes in the T Street area now, and people love T Street.
Yeah. They've been doing there's a lot of work being done down there.
Oh, yeah.
And those houses are beautiful.
There's some gorgeous homes down there.
How much new development do you see happening in Southwest San Clemente, for example?
Well, there's only so much room for like new development.
So talk about existing,
But
revitalized
we are
projects.
seeing a lot of stuff. There was a lot of like original homes. Now you go down the street and it's a different story. There's a lot of like, total remodels, new builds, stuff that you never would have seen in San Clemente years ago.
Do you see that as a trend? Like people are like, you know what? I'm going to gut this thing,
Yes.
spend a bunch of money and then sell it.
Well, I see a lot of people fixing, gutting, modernizing, doing this and that. A lot of them are end users. There are a handful of people that are building spec homes. There's a couple of builders here in town that are doing really, really well for themselves. So you see their projects all over, but I'd say it's a good amount of like people that are looking to resell or end users.
Yeah.
A lot of development. You know what area I did not hear talked about, and I'm very curious to keep an eye on this side of the market, is the north side of El Camino Real.
Mm-hmm.
Where the
north side of El Camino Real,
or just north El Camino Real, where the Miramar, the Surf Ghetto, I think you may have sold one up by the Boys and Girls Club, like that area. Again, it's all going to get revitalized eventually.
I see
over
that.
time.
Sorry to interrupt. I see that as a good place for development.
Mm-hmm.
That like above the Surf Ghetto kind of
that area there, and then like even by Las Palmas.
That's where I was gonna say.
Like
El Portal. Yep, El Portal. Absolutely, because that's a rad area too.
Yeah,
my grandfather was custodian at Las Palmas.
No way.
That's where my kids go.
Yeah, it's a great school. Yeah, it's a cool area, and we see Petrol Club. Like, there's just cool things happening down on that side of San Clemente too. So don't forget about that. Don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep
on that.
I see that
get left behind.
I see it coming up into its own. I mean, it's all that whole area there. You're less than a mile to the beach.
I know.
And you see what's happening like by the beach in Southern California.
Sure.
There's only a matter of time till that whole area is gentrified.
That might be. Do you think, is that the last under $1 million place in town?
Show me one under $1 million.
Yeah.
Can you get into town for under $1 million bucks? Do you think?
Single family home? No.
That's
very.
I know.
That's crazy. I remember in 2008, their house, my parents are down Southwest, and it was on the 100 block, and I think it was listed for like $475.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, if I wasn't such a puss,
yeah,
I was playing football, I should have bought a damn house every year, and because I didn't know how long I was going to play,
for sure.
But God dang it, there's
hindsight, dude.
I go around town and I look at houses and I go, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like there was like one like 2 streets back from T Street that put an offer in on like just pre-COVID, and it got pushed up a little bit in like a multiple counter situation, and I bailed out on it. And I look back and like it was less than 2 million. They fixed it up, sold it for 4 million a couple years later, and that was a couple years ago.
It's crazy.
There's one that was like $800,000 over by T Street, dude. That when I first got into the business, I went and looked at it, and I was like, oh man, this place needs too much work. And like now I drive by it all the time, and I'm just like tears in my eyes.
But you know what you've done? You decided to get in the game. Not only selling real estate, buying real estate for yourself now, because it's a way to get. Yeah, absolutely.
It's killer.
And watched other people do it for long enough.
And
I mean, there's like properties that I've sold like multiple times. One in Riviera in particular. I remember selling it for like 1.5 and then sold it again for like 1.8, and Justin Hill bought it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He is in a bitchin' spot over there, and the place is probably worth like twice what he bought it for.
Yeah.
I look at it and I'm like what was I doing?
Yeah.
What was I thinking at the time?
You're just thinking that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was. Now I look at it and I'm like, dang, dude.
But again, there's creative ways to make it happen, right?
Well, that's what I've gotten smarter about.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
And there's no rules around real estate.
No.
There are no rules.
You're a great example of it. Like, how did you buy your home?
Yep. In Cypress Cove, I bought my first house with zero down.
Right?
1.8 million bucks.
Amazing. And how did you do
Zero down. Private financing. I got a first for $1.4 million. I got a second for $400K.
that? Mhm.
1.8 million. Refied it about 18 months later. Paid that off. Got traditional financing. Done deal.
And a big part of that was
Relationships.
you took
Who
the
you
word
know.
out of my mouth. You literally snatched
I
it,
mean,
huh? You snatched the
absolutely.
word.
On favorable terms, interest only, no points. You get the
Right.
deductions. Like, there's just way to do it. You just have to be resourceful, build good relationships, make good. I mean, it's so possible.
Yes.
And so when you hear people moaning and groaning and whining their little tookies off,
Oh my God, I'll never be able to get 20% down. Well,
it's like, dude,
there's other ways to do it. I mean, it's not always easy.
it's not going to be easy at all.
If
Like,
you're not in the business though, how do you?
you connect with a good realtor and a good
guess,
lender, and
yeah.
you just have to talk to
'Cause,
people
like,
that
that's-
have
as a-
done it.
That's what I thought you needed to do.
Most people do.
You know, and I
$1 million
know
bucks.
there was
yeah.
creative ways to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's, do you educate yourself, or is that aligning with the right realtor, or?
A lot of it is aligning with the right realtor, or, I mean, a lot of it's just relationships, whether it's with the realtor or with an individual that will loan you money,
Mhm.
private money, or, at the end of the day, like, this goes back to what I tell people too, like, people will work with you if they like you,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a seller might work with you to buy their home with like little or no down if they like you.
Right.
That's it.
It's amazing.
It's wild, but that is exactly it.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
It's
Yeah.
emotional
For a lot of people, and they want to, and people are naturally just helping people. They want to help other people.
because you feel good when you help other people.
Yeah,
Like
you do.
It does,
Yeah.
it makes you feel good inside.
Yep,
So,
absolutely. And if you think about it, if you're sitting in a situation where you're super financially blessed, and here's a young up and coming family that's working their tail off, and you know how hard it is to buy a house, you would help that person out.
for sure. For sure.
You would say, yeah, I'll carry the debt. I'll seller finance that deal all day long.
Yeah. If they can,
If
a
they-
lot of times they will.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they're in the position, and if they're not, you know what? You just keep moving on.
Mhm.
You keep going, and yeah, you keep working.
Not everything's going to stick, but you never know unless you try.
Yeah, yep. And again, I think it's just important that people understand real estate and understand that it's not black and white, it's not vanilla, and it's not one size fits all.
No, there's 50 shades of gray.
There's you dirty dog, you.
Dude.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on the podcast,
Yeah.
Brian.
I think we should do just regular market updates and kind of see what's
Let's do it.
happening.
And I think people will appreciate, updating, the market on
Sure.
creative ways. What's the latest creative scenario that you came across? I know people want to buy real estate and they want to live here. So
For sure. People are always asking me, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Is it this or it's that? Well, if you look at the numbers right now, it's a seller's market, dude.
Right.
It just still is,
Yeah.
But, as a buyer, there are opportunities out there, So
And it can be intimidating. Like, you're like, I don't want to get into a bidding war with
people hate
8 different people.
people hate the word bidding war.
Right.
They're like, "Oh my God, like
And as a seller, you're like, I want bidding.
I want a bidding war."
And I think it's an intimidating process. It's scary, that much money.
yeah,
Yeah,
But if you have the right guidance, it's all about the client.
for sure.
That's what resonates with me. Is it's about the people, it's about the relationships, and that's the top of your priority list, right? So
100%. I am like very, very client oriented. That's like how I've built my business, is by doing right by my clients. Like, at the end of the day, I want them to be happy.
yep.
and my guess is that a lot of people are intimidated to reach out because they don't want to feel dumb or ask the wrong question. What do you say to someone like that?
No, it never hurts to ask a question. And please, please reach out. I would love to help anyone answer any questions that come up, any concerns or anything of the sort. But you're very right. It's intimidating and people don't like to look stupid.
Yeah.
So they don't want to ask the question. But that's how you learn.
Yep.
That's how you become informed, is by asking questions. It's like in school, people don't want to raise their hand and ask a question because they don't want everyone else in the class looking at them like they're an idiot. But
Usually there's 5 other people that got the same question.
There always is at least 5.
Yeah. Oh, dang. Yeah. I had the same question.
Exactly. It's just no one has the the cojones to ask it. But that's how you learn, and that's how you get educated. So it's actually the smart people that are asking the questions.
Don't be afraid to be resourceful. Reach out, ask the questions. Thanks for watching the San Clemente podcast. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe this video. Nick Hartman, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, it's a beautiful Friday. Let's go enjoy the weekend.